I did not see this movie. I didn't know a whole ton about it. I just heard about a lot of hate online and stuff like that. And wow. I set the bar low last week for the Emoji Movie. I said if it got 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, meaning 50% of the critics that saw the film like the movie, 50% or higher, I would go and see it. Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, out of 49 reviews, it's got 6%. And the best thing about it is that Rotten Tomatoes always does a critical consensus for movies. They kind of like, neatly summarize a movie in like one long-winded kind of sentence based on what critics are saying. The site's critical consensus simply displays the no symbol, like a no smoking symbol, in place of text. That's beautiful. That's awesome. Keep in mind, too, of the 6% that gave the film a positive rating, one of which is like a middle-of-the-road review from Common Sense Media, which I've said before, shouldn't be counted as a Rotten Tomatoes review. It is like a quasi-religious affiliated website that judges the safety rating of like television programs and movies for kids and like kind of goes through like them as a content thing, as a content facilitator, very loosely tied to a review. Shouldn't even be counted on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you take that away, if you take that review out, Common Sense Media, because I think it has no business being on Rotten Tomatoes, if you take that review out, it's about a 3 or a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, meaning 3 or 4% of critics that saw the Emoji Movie liked the Emoji Movie. One of my favorite critics of IndieWire, David Ehrlich, gave the film a D and said, the Emoji Movie is very, very, very bad. We're talking about a hyperactive piece of corporate propaganda in which Spotify saves the world and Sir Patrick Stewart voices a living turd. Alonzo Duralde, another great critic friend of mine of The Wrap, said the film was a soul-crushing disaster because it lacks humor, wit, ideas, visual style, compelling performances, a point of view, or any other distinguishing characteristic that would make it anything but a complete waste of your time. This movie is unbelievably panned at the moment right now, and you could kind of tell this, too, based on the cast involved: T.J. Miller, Anna Faris, Maya Rudolph, Christina Aguilera, Sofia Vergara, and the aforementioned Sir Patrick Stewart, to name a few. Notice how none of them went on talk shows this past week. Notice how nobody, was promoting this. The last time I could remember a movie being this ignored by the mainstream, like the very people that were involved in the damn thing weren't going on TV and promoting it, making deals, you know what I mean? Really, making deals for these like big time movie spots. The last time I can recall was movie 43, and that was atrocious. That was abysmal. So the Emoji Movie is interesting, and I haven't seen it, okay? I am working entirely off the reviews that I've read, okay? And I haven't read a ton. I've read enough to know how bad it is, okay? I've read enough to know how allegedly bad it is. Maybe I'll watch it on DVD. I don't know. I'm not in any rush. But the thing with the Emoji Movie is it goes back to the one of the larger problems of Hollywood right now, and it deals with kids' movies, okay, that aren't Pixar or Disney. They don't even have to be animated. They can be like movies like Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life, or Diary of a Wimpy Kid. These movies are made by Ehrlich got it right. He said corporate propaganda. These movies are hardly made by people. Tony Leondis, who directed this movie, probably didn't really have a lot of creative reign on the movie. Okay, this movie had to be entirely or very largely monopolized by Sony Pictures Animation. Sony Pictures Animation has long kind of been a dark horse of animation. It's usually been viewed as like objectively the worst subjectively worst animated studio. They're responsible for movies like Arthur Christmas, Hotel Transylvania, The Smurfs, a bunch of stuff, Surf's Up, a lot of people that just kind of, don't even, shake a stick at that kind of stuff. But the thing with the Emoji Movie is this is a movie that you can tell right off the bat is made not very much by people, but by corporate figures. by studios that think they know what kids want. That's the key word here, think. They think they know what kids want, okay? But they really don't. I actually snuck into the Emoji Movie for a couple minutes in the theater this week, and I got out of a ghost story, the movie I was raving about earlier this hour. I got out of it pretty early. It was only 86 minutes. I got out of there before noon. So I walked in the Emoji Movie, and I watched about 2 minutes of it, okay? It's like a dance sequence or something. I really wasn't paying too much attention to the movie. I was more concerned with the audience, okay? Now, this was clearly supposed to be a comic scene, like a funny scene. I can't really explain it because, again, I haven't seen it. I don't know the context of the scene. I just kind of wanted to see what the crowd looked like at like 10:30 in the morning on a Saturday. So I walked in, and I saw the theater was okay. You know what I mean? It had about 20 people, which is pretty decent for, an early morning showing, even if it's a kid's movie and stuff. I had about the same amount of people when I saw Cars 3 that early. But I went in there, and I was looking around and stuff like that, and I'm like, nobody's laughing. There's some allegedly funny stuff going on the screen. Nobody's laughing. Parents are looking at it. Like, I saw one mother on her phone. You know what I mean? I saw a couple kids that were just kind of staring at the screen, not really watching anything. This is a sound and light show in the form of an electronic babysitter, so it sounds like. We use emojis. A lot of people use emojis on conversations, on their Facebook messages, on their phones, and on their, tablets and stuff like that. Nobody asked for these emojis to have backstories in a movie, especially a movie that was allegedly this poorly written, this completely abysmally thought out movie that's like kind of even a quasi ripoff too of the Lego Movie, Wreck-It Ralph, Inside Out, Toy Story, these other kind of movies that feature a lot of characters that are predicated upon very a lot of different worlds, a lot of different characters, and a lot of different emotions and stuff like that. I would think that this movie is like a D grade Inside Out for morons. That's what I would think. Inside Out being the Pixar movie. I think the Emoji Movie is like Inside Out for morons. I really do. Or people with shorter attention spans. I'm just saying. I mean, if you liked it, good for you. You know what I mean? I'm an idiot. But I mean, like, again, I didn't see it. I didn't watch the movie. I'm kind of just going off of critical praise and stuff like that. But this is a movie that's not really even made. You know what I mean? This is a movie that's like conceived by people that either don't know a lot about filmmaking, don't have kids, think they know what kids want. Kids are stupid. They don't bother. You know what I mean? They don't have to bother with anything. They make these movies for people to just think they know what kids want when they have no idea. It's honestly sad.